How do you actually get out of a rut and how do you do it fast? I have asked myself this question for the past 5 years, and I wasn't able to answer it until 5 months ago. Ever since I was 14, I've been consuming self improvement content. These days, you have Hamza, you have Andrew Tate, you have Iman Gadzhi, Alex Hormozy, and I don't keep up if there's any new ones. And of course, they would tell you that your life sucks and that you know it, but that you have the ability to take action and change. It is your responsibility. You're not a man if you don't. I began to program my mind in this way. I would listen to what they said as complete truth, and my life suddenly got better. I would start going to the gym. I would start talking to more people. My life just seemed to be transforming at such a rapid rate. I thought, wow, I'm good. I'm set for life. I just have to keep doing this and I'll be rich. I'll be a millionaire. I'll get all the girls. Then 2 weeks later, I stop. I go right back to every single one of my bad habits. I start eating junk food. I start wanting to get girls. If you guys know what Yubo is, it's like a teen version of Tinder. I start brain rotting all day, eating junk food, doing absolutely nothing with my life, procrastinating with my homework. Then again, 2 weeks later, a month later, 2 months later, if it's really bad, I would start picking up the good habits again. Now I started running. Now I started reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think I'm back. This is finally it. It's not going to be the last time where I stopped. I have the motivation. This time I just have to be disciplined. 2 weeks later, some girl rejects me on Yubo, and I go right back to the bad habits. Suddenly, 2 months pass, and I can do the good habits again. And like, one more time, I think I can finally escape it. I think I can finally be able to be consistent because I already learned that motivation wasn't enough. I just simply wasn't disciplined enough last time, so now I have to be disciplined, right? Wrong. Well, this cycle continued for 6 years actually, ever since I was 14 all the way up until I was 20. I had the happiest periods of my life and the most miserable periods of my life. I've had a lot of fight with parents. I've been rejected a lot of times. I began getting my first successes. I began making more friends. I had a great senior year. Girls broke my heart, even though I wasn't in a relationship until the later stages of my ruts. I actually found my dream woman towards the last year and a half of my ruts. So I'm pretty lucky to have a woman that stays with me even through my ruts. But now, lucky her. Should I say lucky? Maybe it was my work. Maybe I got lucky. But I am so incredibly consistent. I will take over the world. Okay, I know that sounds a little bit cringy, doesn't it? But what will I do? I will make money. I will be healthy. I will be an amazing father. And not in the way you're probably defining good father. I feel like I have very nuanced and different opinions from the rest of the world. That's why I'm uploading to YouTube every single day because I want to get better at speaking to the camera, but I just can't communicate my value. Right now, I communicated a little bit of value to you because I told my story. Now, I have to tell you the real value, which is how I changed from bad to good. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. If you haven't clicked off this video, then I truly appreciate it. That means you found me either entertaining or valuable enough. So if you did, then what's stopping you from following me? Worst case scenario, you waste 2 seconds of your life and some of my videos get recommended to you again and you'll be reminded again to take action or something, right? Unless you hate me, then I guess I will be too much of a trigger for you. Anyways, I know this title says how to get out of a rut quickly, but it's not going to be quick. I think I needed to go in and out of ruts and feel enough pain to finally get out of the rut. Don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of mental models and strategies I applied and I'm using now so that I don't get in ruts again. But technically, I don't think it would have happened unless I experienced all the pain that I did. The last time I was in a really big rut, which was like 6 months of going to the gym once a month, brain rotting every day for 5 days a week, gaining 10 pounds a month, feeling miserable, nihilistic, away from God. And when I say this, I'm not just saying this. I felt it. I felt deep suffering in my heart, tears out of my eyes, in bed, just contemplating life, having thoughts of removing myself from this life. Hated everyone, thought the world was unfair. I had to feel that for me to get to where I am now, which is someone with no good results, but with a deep passion for wanting to change the world and being consistent and relentless every day despite getting no results. I don't have my dream body yet. I don't have the following yet. I feel pretty good about the way that I spoke in this video, so if you're still watching, you respect me in some way. And I respect you, not because I know you, but because of the way I have changed my beliefs about the world. 6 months ago, I would have told you you're probably unfair, you're probably just some average person. But now I think of everyone as someone that has dignity and someone that is made in God's image. And even if you don't believe in God, you can still use this to your advantage. Every human is a whole human with his or her own story and values and traumas, and there's so much. Anyways, that's not what stopped me from going back into a rut. Actually, it kind of is. It's mostly about belief and mental reprogramming. I changed the way I looked at the world. And how do you do that? Like I said earlier, it's not going to happen quickly because for me, I'll be lying to you if all you have to do is change your thoughts. Well, changing your thoughts is a journey. When someone says just go to the gym, bro, someone might be able to go to the gym based on that advice. But for other people, it's literally a mental journey that might take you a week, 2 weeks, a year to set your foot in the gym. But the only advice I'll literally give everyone, because there's so much you can do, is to take the first step. And you're probably not even going to credit me because you're not going to see results fast. But I guarantee you that if, I don't know, if you're in bed right now, and if you get out of bed, count to 10 and go back to bed, just the fact that you did something is going to make you 100 times more likely to keep going. That's another thing I did. I took everything one step at a time. I changed my relationship with suffering. And when I say I changed my relationship with suffering, more specifically, I meant that when I thought of the big, hard tasks I needed to do, I didn't think of completing all the hard tasks at once. I simply thought, what's the next step? And suddenly, the suffering to take the next step wasn't that bad. For you, it's probably getting out of bed. So if you stand up, you did that step. Was it that bad? Honestly, if you've been in bed for hours brain rotting just on YouTube or watching Netflix, it probably is a little bit hard to get out of bed. So if it is that hard for you, I would literally tell you that it's okay to get out of bed and go back to whatever you're doing. This pattern interruption, this one step, even though you're going back to your bad habits right after taking the step, is the momentum you need when you're that down bad like I was. There's obviously luck that comes into play. I had to feel enough pain. I felt a lot of pain based on circumstances that I don't think I'm ever going to share online. Maybe one day. I've shared some of the circumstances, but the specific one I'm not going to share online because I am so deeply ashamed. Maybe if I hadn't felt that pain, it wouldn't have been enough energy for me to continue choosing to take the next step. But at the end of the day, I always had to take that next step. And when I did take the next steps, I could use more strategies in different scenarios that overall I now have like a system and mental models and mindsets to combat a lot of obstacles and sufferings that come my way. I'm in Amsterdam right now, and Amsterdam, there's like little pee stations for the drunk people that need to pee so they don't have to urinate in public. And I was walking outside with my girl, and I really had to go. We were really close to a pee station, so we were just walking there, but I really, really, really had to go. So I began jogging just to make it a little bit faster. And if you don't know already, in Amsterdam, there are a ton of bikes. So there's a little bit of a bike parking garage where I had to squeeze in between. But since I was jogging, I don't know, I stepped wrong and I almost twisted my ankle. Anyways, I didn't sprain my ankle, but I did step really wrong and it really hurt. It still hurts now, but I can walk finally. It would probably hurt to go on a run. And right there and then, I could have been like, shoot, my life is so bad. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But because of the work that I've put in over the years, I managed to relieve some of that suffering by shifting my attention elsewhere and telling myself I don't need to suffer as much as I have. I was suffering in my mind by victimizing myself in my situation, and I was suffering because of the pain itself. The pain itself, low key, when you take your mind and shift your attention out of the victim pain and just focus on the pure pain isn't that bad. You're in a rut because to take the next action step, it requires too much willpower of you, too much energy. And a lot of people, especially the people I used to look up to in self improvement, they're gonna tell you that you're a bitch pussy who can't take action. The whole reason I feel convicted that I can change the world is because that train of thought didn't change me. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who have been motivated by shame, But right now, it just needs someone to validate your own suffering and tell you at an actual easy way out. I think if you're a complete beginner in self improvement, you have to go through the Andrew Tate stages of thinking, I'm just some big, disciplined, macho guy. But then you have to realize that's not enough, and you have to change and think about purpose and your beliefs and not suffering as much. I haven't heard anyone in the self improvement space talk about releasing and reducing mental suffering. Anyways, you get what I mean. Take the very next action step you can and do it right now. And if you do, you're going to be 100 million times more likely to actually do it. If it's getting out of bed and going right back to your bad habits, then do that. If it's opening up your laptop to begin working or you're doing your homework and then closing it right back down, then do that. If you can take a bigger action step, do that. But take everything one step at a time, shift your mindsets. And one of the mindset shifts that you should have is that it's not necessarily going to be fast, and you have to change who you are as a person. You have to become the person that is capable of handling the obstacles and the suffering. And that little by little, use the momentum you have, and that's how you change your life and behavior and build habits. All right, God bless you. If you believe in love, you're closer to believing in God than you think. And if you believe all humans have a purpose or all things happen for a reason, then you're closer to believing in God than you think.